All right, so thank you for joining me for a 60-minute wall yoga class. We're going to use the wall as a prop to lean against, to put our feet up against. If you don't have a wall, you can also use a sturdy bookshelf or a sturdy dresser, or even like a big desk or table or chair, just something that's sturdy so that if you put your feet up against it or rest your body against it, it won't fall away. You don't need any props for this class, but the props that you might want nearby are a blanket or a towel and a yoga block, or if you don't have yoga blocks, you can also use like paper towels or toilet paper rolls. You don't need these, but there's a posture to where I'll give you the option to have a yoga block, or again, yoga from home, paper towels, toilet paper. It's amazing how many things you have at home you can substitute for like fancy yoga props. You don't need to be fancy. Okay, so again, we're going to use the wall here. You're going to come to a comfortable seated position in the middle of your space. And for the sake of today, gosh, just let yourself lean against the wall or your shelf or dresser, armoire, whatever that is. And right away, notice when you lean back, what parts of your back touch the wall and what parts don't touch the wall. So for me, like my lower back and my neck aren't quite on the wall right now. We have natural curvature in our spine, right? The spine is not supposed to be completely straight. There's a natural curvature to it. But a lot of times, you know, especially when we live in a world where we're looking down so much at our phones, at our work, at our books, at our kids, at our food, you might notice that it's really hard to keep your spine nice and upright, especially the neck. So just sit up tall and then relax back. Encourage you to open your palms up so palms face the ceiling. And this is just a symbolic gesture that you're starting to arrive in the present moment and you're open to receiving whatever it is that you get from this class. So just open to receiving maybe some compassion towards yourself, some kindness, some patience. Often when I come into a yoga class, I'm so sure that I'm going to have one type of class. Like I can't tell you how many times I would in studio go up and tell the teacher, just so you know, I'm really tired today, so I'll probably take it easy. And then I would just like crush the whole class. Or how many times I would go in thinking like, you feel great, this is your day. And then I would end up on a ball in the floor for 30 minutes. So often we come into this space with an idea of like what our practice is going to be or what it's supposed to look like. And I have found it's never like what we thought it would be, but it's often just what we need. So having the palms open is, again, just a symbolic gesture that you're open to this class being whatever it is, not what you think it should be. You can close your eyes if you'd like for a moment. If closing your eyes is distracting, keep your eyes open with a soft, fuzzy gaze just beyond the tip of your nose, looking without seeing. Take an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your nose. Breathe in and breathe out. Draw your full attention to your breath. As you inhale, feel your chest rise. Exhale, feel your shoulders fall. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. As you breathe, even though we're trying to bring our full attention to our breath, notice any lingering impressions from the day. Any thoughts playing across your mind, maybe a task that you need to do later. And just give yourself permission to let all of that go for an hour, politely setting all those things aside. And once again, just return your focus to your breath. A steady inhale and a smooth exhale. Breathing in. Slowly breathing out. Just connecting the movement of your body with your breaths. Again, as you inhale, kind of feeling the chest rise. Exhale, feeling the body soften. Draw a slow inhale through your nose and hold it at the top. Open your mouth and sigh it all out. Anything you need to let go of. Seal your lips. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. And we will begin our yoga class, just starting with moving our neck. And again, you want to try and keep your shoulders and your lower back kind of touching the wall so everything is square, not twisting to one side. As you inhale, lengthen up out of your chest, out of the crown of your head. Exhale, slowly draw your right ear towards right shoulder, stretching the left side neck. I woke up with a really stiff neck today, so my head's not going to go very far in this class, and that's okay, right? Eventually, right ear coming closer to right shoulder. Now, right away, notice, is one shoulder coming off the wall? Is one hip coming off the wall? Try to make this just an isolation of the neck, so the shoulders and hips stay back. Drop your right ear down. Good, and slowly roll your head down, chin to chest, so that the neck and head come off the wall. Gentle compression to the throat and extension to the spine. Now notice if your shoulders are coming off the wall and lean back, so it's just the neck that's moving. Press the shoulders and hips back, so the rest of the spine is nice and long, abdominal wall gently engaged. Relax your jaw, look down, drop your head. Good, and this time roll your left ear to left shoulder, stretching the right side neck. It's also worth noting that I'm not mirroring you, so it might look like I'm moving my head to the right when in fact I'm moving my head to the left. You are welcome to follow my words or my body. Know that in general, I will do the right side of postures first, unless I forget. Notice if this side feels different, it's really normal, we're not symmetrical. Notice if one shoulder or hip is starting to lift up. Again, evenly stretch out the shoulders, the hips, so it's just the neck moving. Good, slowly roll your head back down, chin to chest. Roll back up, looking up. Come just an inch or two off of the wall, placing your hands slightly behind you, puff up your chest and start to look up. Eventually dropping your head back. If you have a stiff neck like I do, you might drop your head, you might not drop your head back today, that's okay. Just tilting your nose up, chin up, never forcing the body. Keep your eyes open, root down through your sit bones, lift your chest, look back. Good, and slowly come back up to center, scooting back to the wall. Place your right hand close by your right thigh and lift your left arm up overhead and lean to the left. Now notice again, if the shoulder wants to come off the wall, try to keep your shoulders on the wall so the chest is opening. You have an option to look forward, or if it feels okay, look up towards the ceiling and maybe bring your left ear to the wall, looking up. Take an inhale, take an exhale. If you're looking up towards the ceiling, start by rotating your head back so you're looking forward. Sweep your left arm down, around, place left hand by left thigh, and this time reach your right arm up. Again, try to press the right shoulder and left shoulder against the wall behind you. If you do 26 and 2 yoga with me in half moon, that's why we say like left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, right? You want to keep the shoulder touching the wall here. But again, it's very common for the spine to twist when we're tight. So try to keep the chest open, like open your chest like a flower petal blooming. You've heard it before. You can look forward or look up, maybe bringing the right ear to the wall. Drop your shoulders down, breathe in and breathe out. If you're looking up, rotate your head back, looking forward, sweep your right arm down, left arm down, and this time, I'm gonna move my blanket a little bit, put both hands on the floor in front of you, try to get your butt touching the wall, push the floor away from you with your hands, and then drop your head down. So a little bit of like a turtle shell spine here, a little bit of a rounded spine. Push the floor away from you. Bring your shoulders out of your ears. So spread the shoulders wide, drop your head, relax your jaw, press your hips into the wall. Take an inhale and an exhale. Good. Start to walk your hands back in towards your shins, slowly rolling up. Next, we're going to come into a tabletop position with the backs of our feet on the wall. So you want to tuck your toes under so the soles of your feet face the wall. So from the side, it'll look like this, right? Toes tucked under. It's a nice little Achilles stretch. And we're going to take some cat-cows. I'll show you from the side. But again, you can use your wall, which is pretty cool. So as you exhale, draw your belly in, round your spine for cat pose, rounding your spine up towards the ceiling like a cat who's a little bit angry to be a cat, because that's how they operate. Okay, as you inhale, drop your belly down for cow pose. So for cow pose, think about like cow's udders, stomach coming down, chin lifting up, look up towards the ceiling. On your next exhale, round your spine, cat pose, meow. So push your knuckles into the floor. Drop your head so the top of your head comes closer to the floor. Press your hips forward and spread your shoulders wide, rounding your spine. Cat pose, cow pose, moo. Drop your belly down, squeeze your shoulders together, lift your chest, bring your shoulders away from your ears, stick your butt up, look up towards the ceiling, backward bend, cow. One more round, cat pose. Press your hips closer to your ribs, engage your abdominal wall, bring your chin to your chest, spread your shoulders wide, root down through all 28 knuckles. And cow pose, moo. Drop your stomach down, stick your butt up, get your shoulders out of your ears, press your chest forward, look up, nice stretch through the throat and neck. Good. From here, come back to neutral in a tabletop, and we're going to take a short puppy pose. So keep your hips over your knees and start to walk your hands forward. Eventually, chin or head to floor. So from the front, you want to keep your feet on the floor. Pardon me, feet touching the wall. Words are hard. And just reach your arms forward. Tent your fingertips. So it's just the fingers touching the floor. Stick your butt up. Nice little shoulder opener. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. Bring your chin or head off the floor, look forward, walk forward, and this time put your forearms on the floor for Sphinx pose. Try to keep your heels on the wall behind you so the soles of your feet are touching the wall. So from the side, I wish I had two walls because then it would be easier to show, but from the side, you keep the toes tucked under, right? So it's this nice stretch through the hamstrings and Achilles. Breathing in, breathing out. Great. From here, place your hands on the floor, push up, and then sink back for a child's pose, heels still up the wall. So from the side, toes stay tucked under. So you reach your arms forward and sink your hips down. One more time, reach the arms forward, sink the hips down to the heels, heels pointing up, breathe in, and breathe out. Okay, when you're ready, put your hands on the floor, slowly walk yourself up, remove your heels from the floor, and come to a seated position. This time we're gonna sit facing one side of the room so that one hand we can high five the wall with. So sitting to one side, sitting crisscross applesauce, place your right hand on the wall like you were high fiving the wall. And from here, start to walk your hand back a little bit. Try to keep your wrist in line with your shoulder so the hand isn't too high or too low. Okay, from here, left hand to left knee. Inhale, stretch up, look forward. Exhale, look over your right shoulder towards the wall and twist. Can push your hand into the wall. If it's too much, you can have your hand a little higher, otherwise wrist and shoulder in line. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, push your hand into the wall, look over your right shoulder and twist. Evenly distribute your body weight on both sit bones. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, push your hand into the wall, look over your right shoulder, twist. Good. Slowly unwind, coming back to center, and we're gonna look the other way. So inhale, stretch up. Exhale, look over your left shoulder and twist. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, push your hand into the wall, look over your left shoulder and twist. So just opening the shoulders here. One more time, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, push your hand, wrist into the wall, look over left shoulder, twist. Good. Slowly unwind. Give the wall one more high five. Good. Right hand down. And then we're going to flip and face the other side. Good. Okay, this time, placing left hand on the wall, giving wall a high five. Thank you all. Start to walk your hand back. Again, trying to keep wrist and shoulder in line. If you need to have the arm a little higher, that's fine. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, look towards the wall over your left shoulder and twist. Feel this nice stretch in the neck and spine. Inhale, stretch up, spread your fingers wide. Exhale, push your hand into the wall for leverage. Look over your left shoulder. One more time. Inhale, stretch up, root down through both sit bones. Exhale, push your hand into the wall. Look over left shoulder, twist. Good. Slowly unwind. Keep your hands where they are, and we'll do the other way. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, look over your right shoulder and twist. So as you look over the right shoulder, you get this nice stretch along the whole left arm, the shoulder, the upper arm. I feel it even in my wrist, right? And we have a little bit of nerve tightness. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, look over your right shoulder, twist, twist, twist. Good. Slowly, carefully come back to center. Thank the wall with your left hand, and then bring your arms down. That was kind of our warm up with shorter postures that use the wall for leverage to twist or move. The rest of class, we're mostly going to be on our back with our legs up the wall. I'm going to grab my phone, which I realized I put over here. If you ever see me looking at my phone, it's not that I'm like texting somebody, it's that I'm checking the time, because the rest of the postures we're going to hold for longer. So there's no not awkward way to do this to get your feet up the wall. I like to recommend bring your body close to the wall. Take a moment to lay back, and then again, there's no graceful way to do this, but you just awkwardly, lift your legs up. And if you'd like a towel or blanket under your lower back or under your head or neck, you are welcome to do that. Okay, so this is what's called legs up the wall pose. I know it's a very creative name, and it's all about changing blood flow, right? It's really good for lowering blood pressure, for reducing stress in the body. We're gonna hang here for 3 minutes as we breathe in and out through the nose. Again, I'm using my phone to set a timer. That is all. Okay. So the rest of this class kind of works like a yin class. If you've never done yin yoga, the idea is we do long holds of postures. So, in vinyasa or Bikram yoga, those types of yoga, like power yoga, we consider them what's called yang, or in the West, we often pronounce it yang, but it's really yin and yang. Okay, so we call those yang styles of yoga. They're energetic, they're intense, they're considered solar. We associate them with heat, building heat in the body, right? And often in those styles of yoga, we'll hold a posture for maximum a minute, maybe 2 every once in a while. And yang styles of yoga, again, 26 and 2, vinyasa, power, flow, that kind of thing, we're contracting muscles to get into postures. In yin styles of yoga, like its namesake, yin yoga or restorative yoga, we're relaxing muscles to get into postures. And in this style of yoga, we hold postures for a minimum of 3 minutes, right? Sometimes even up to 5 minutes. Which means at first, you might not feel a whole bunch. And then at a certain point, you get uncomfortable, either physically uncomfortable or sometimes mentally, emotionally, spiritually uncomfortable, because sitting still is not really something we reward, right? Sitting still, we're supposed to like go, go, go in this culture. And sitting still, sometimes we start to feel things. Again, it could be physical, but it could be something else. So as you sit still, as you lie still with your legs up the wall, if the mind starts to wander or a certain like emotion or thought comes in, just notice that and then let yourself just return to your breath, right? Just think about breathing through the nose, slow inhale and slow exhale. About 20 seconds left. Relax your hands, your jaw. Feel blood flowing from the feet down to the hips. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay. From here, it was 3 minutes. You're going to bend your legs, hug your thighs into your chest, and just give yourself a hug, rock side to side. So what I found in teaching wall yoga is it's really great to have the legs up the wall in different positions. And it's a lot of reverse blood flow, right? So I like to bring my feet down from side to side, just in between postures, so that you get a little bit of blood flow. And if you ever need to come out of the posture for that reason, like if your feet fall apart or fall asleep, I should say, or you notice your feet getting like weirdly cold, feel free to come out early and take a Savasana or a puddle pose. Okay, we're going to bring our legs back up the wall. And this is a posture where you may want a yoga block, or again, you can have like paper towels close by. And this is going to be a butterfly version of legs up the wall. So start by bringing your butt a little bit closer to the wall if you need to. Bend your knees out to the side so that the soles of your feet face inwards. You can keep your heels high up the wall, or as you're ready, start to slide your heels down towards your hips. You're welcome to have your hands out to the side, up like cactus, or for an extra stretch, you can put your hands on your thighs and push out. For those of you with super tight knees, it can help to have a prop like paper towels, toilet paper, or blocks that you actually like put under your knee thigh area so that the knees don't drop like too uncomfortably down. And we're going to hold here for 5 minutes. Crazy, I know. We're already about 30 seconds in. So one thing to keep in mind with these longer holds of postures is in the first minute, especially if you're like a little flexible, you might go like, I'm not feeling much, I should go deeper. But then in like minute 3, you're like, ooh, I'm feeling too much. So with yin, try to do about 70% of what you think you should, especially if you are like a go-getter, somebody that like wants to go, go, go all the time, wants to be the best all the time, wants to push themselves all the time. I'm right there with you. There are some scenarios in which that has helped us in life. And I'm going to argue, and you might agree, that there are some scenarios in which that mindset hinders us in life, right? Or where we miss the point. This is an opportunity to practice letting go of the need to push yourself to the nth degree and just be okay with getting a gentle stretch. And because we're holding these postures longer, we actually don't just work into muscle tightness, we start to work into connective tissue, into fascia, into joints, tendons, ligaments. So what might not feel like a lot in the moment actually ends up being, like quite an intense stretch when you wake up the next day. So keep that in mind too, be graceful with yourself. I don't think I've ever taken a yoga class where afterwards I've thought, I wish I'd pushed myself harder. Certainly in the moment, I'm often critical of myself, like go harder, but I've never walked away and been like, I didn't do enough. But I've certainly been to yoga classes where afterwards I've gone, I wish I hadn't have done that like quite so intensely. So just keep that in mind in the longer holds of postures. If you're starting to feel like you have something to prove or you're not going deep enough into them, just let go of that rhetoric and just be okay with a gentle stretch. This butterfly pose is so good for opening through the hips and pelvis. And again, because the feet are up the wall, gravity is doing a lot of the work. You're welcome to place your hands on your knees or thighs and press the knees closer to the wall, but it's in no way necessary, right? Gravity is just slowly stretching the inner thighs, the hips. You've got about 2 minutes left. And I'm just going to honor some time for stillness and silence here. About 30 seconds left. This is the part, if you'd like to get a little deeper, maybe bringing the heels in closer to the groin or pressing the knees a little bit closer to the wall, please feel free. Again, never forcing the body. If you're feeling it quite intensely, just hold where you are, knowing the end is near. Breathe in. And slowly breathe out. Good. As you're ready, slowly slide your feet back up the wall and then rotate so that the soles of the feet face towards the ceiling wall area. Taking a moment with your feet up the wall, noticing any sensations as the hips start to rotate back in. Maybe take a moment to spiral the inner thighs back and down. Flex your little toes back, feeling this opposite pelvic motion. Take an inhale. And an exhale. Good. We've spent almost 10 minutes with our leg up the wall. So we're going to take a puddle pose or Savasana break. So again, there's no graceful way to do this, at least that I've found, but take your time rolling off to one side, coming off of the wall, and then lie on your mat in Savasana or puddle pose. You can close your eyes, open your arms and legs, woo, and feel what happens as the body returns to a little bit of a more regulated state. Lots of fresh blood rushing into the lower body. Let the floor hold you up. So another joy of Yin Yoga is that familiar postures have unfamiliar names. So in 26 and 2 yoga, we'd call this Savasana or corpse pose. And we would, I'd tell you heels together, toes fall open, arms down by your side. But in Yin, we call it puddle pose. And, act like a puddle rather than a corpse. So like you can open your arms and legs, you can close your eyes. If lying on your back with your legs straight is uncomfortable, you're welcome to roll up a little bit of a blanket under your lower back, or you can even bend your legs so feet are on the floor and knees rest together. Lots of options. It's very like a freestyle kind of yoga. All right, we're gonna bring our legs back up the wall. So again, you're gonna come close to the wall, lift your legs up, rotate. So cute. And again, you can have a blanket under your lower back, under your head or neck, anything like that that helps you feel comfortable. And from here, we're going to do a legs up the wall version of figure 4, which is really great for if you ever have sciatic pain, sciatic nerve pain, this is your posture. So start by bending your legs so that the soles of your feet are on the wall. And you might have to play around here with like coming a little bit further away from the wall or not. From here, keep your left foot on the wall, lift your right leg up, turn your right knee to the right, and place your right ankle, lower shin area on top of left thigh, upper knee area. So if you look down the center line of your body, your legs are making a 4. Now to lessen the stretch, if this is like, whoa, Nelly, really intense on the outer right thigh, no problem. You can straighten your left leg a little bit so the left leg, left heel comes up the wall towards the ceiling. Or to deepen the stretch, you can slide your foot down so that the thighs come closer to your abdomen. And again, you might need to play around with like sliding a little bit closer or a little bit further from the wall, depending on your body proportions, right? If you have really long legs, you might need to come off a little bit. And we're gonna hold here for 5 minutes. Fun. I know people who love this style of yoga, these long holds of postures, because there's periods of time where teachers are just silent and we're all silent together. And I know people who hate this style of yoga or are terrified of this style of yoga because there's long holds of postures where we're all just silent, and silence can be like a little uncomfortable sometimes, right? So I want to hold space for both of those. If you're one of those people that like silence is just weird, you did not grow up in a silent household, or you did grow up in a silent household and it was like traumatizing and silence is just a weird connotation for you, I invite you to flip that script here and just view silence here as a practice of being at peace in the present moment. And if you find that you are not at peace in the present moment, that's okay. But we're going to use the tool in our toolbox of like when the mind starts to wander, just return your mind towards your breath. A slow inhale. Relax your jaw, slow exhale. And we're just going to practice some silence together. Again, if the mind starts to wander or you start to feel feelings, just returning to your breath and reminding yourself that all is okay. About 2 minutes left. About 30 seconds left. If you're uncomfortable, know that the end is near. If you'd like that little extra push at the end, maybe sliding your foot down the wall and pushing the ball of the foot into the wall to bring your thighs even closer to your chest. Slow inhale. And slow exhale. Good. Slowly start to slide your left foot back up the wall. Take your right foot off of the left thigh. Lift your right leg up the wall. Take a moment. You can kind of windshield wiper your knees and your feet. Just letting the feet rest up the wall, noticing any sensations as you come out of the posture. And we're playing around with blood flow in this style of yoga. So while you can get that same stretch to the outer thigh in many different postures of yoga that are similar, and we do it up the wall and then we come back to our feet off the wall, it's a different blood flow, different circulation for that thigh, the outer thigh, the hip, the sciatic nerve. From here, we're going to go into a spine twist that allows our legs to come off the wall a bit. So have your arms either out to the side or you can cactus them like goalposts. Bend your knees in, so thighs come close to chest, feet on the wall, and then start to roll to the right. So left hip stacks on top of right hip, left knee on top of right knee, right leg on the floor, left shoulder on the floor. This is a spine twist. You can keep your head on the floor looking up or look over to your left so the left ear comes down to the floor. And we're going to hold here for 4 minutes. So in that figure 4 with the legs up the wall, if you had your right knee bent, then you stretch the outer right thigh. In this one, you're stretching the outer left thigh as you bring the knees to the right. So hopefully it's a little bit of relief from one hip, one outer thigh to the other. It's a great way to open your chest, to twist your neck and spine. You might even feel it in your IT band. And if it feels good, you can even like kick your left leg out or both legs out for more of an IT band stretch. Otherwise, just keep your knees bent with your feet on the wall. Breathing in and breathing out. Try to keep your left shoulder on the floor as well as your right shoulder. About 2 minutes left. We're at the halfway mark. If you need to adjust what you're doing because it's not comfortable, please feel free. I think that a lot of the process in yoga in general is just a discernment of like what feels right for you in the present moment. And that can take many forms. Like sometimes if a teacher says something that just like doesn't sound right to you, maybe it sounds woo-woo, maybe it just doesn't make sense, we'll have a reaction like to laugh or to roll our eyes. That's part of discernment, right? That doesn't feel true to you. That's wonderful. In the same sense, that happens with the postures as well. So we're discerning the difference between I need to wiggle and change where I am because like this is not working, this is uncomfortable, I've gone too far, I can't feel anything, right? Whatever that is for you. I know that this is not right for my body.
We're discerning the difference between that and like, I need to move again because I will do anything to distract myself from sitting still, right? So notice the difference, but if you ever need to move because what you're doing with your body doesn't feel right, please do so. About 30 seconds left. Doing with that information what you will. Take a slow inhale through your nose. And an even slower exhale through your nose. Good. We're going to slowly reverse out, starting with the neck. So if you're looking to the left with your left ear on the towel, start by rolling your head back to center, and then slowly start to bring your knees up, feet once again on the wall. Lift your legs up for another nice feet up the wall moment here. Great. And we're going to do the other side of figure 4. So again, bending your legs slightly. So maybe soles of the feet on the floor. Soles of the feet on the wall. I'm so turned upside down right now. Keep your right foot on the wall. Lift your left leg up. Start to bring your left knee to the left and place your left ankle lower shin area on top of right thigh knee area. Again, for like a less intense stretch, if you know that you have a super tight outer thigh or intense sciatic pain, you can keep your right leg totally straight or just slightly bent to deepen the stretch. Try to get the sole of your right foot on the wall or even down the wall so that the thighs come closer to the chest. And we're going to hold here for 5 minutes, already about 30 seconds in. And as a reminder, right, we're not symmetrical. So this side might feel a little or a lot different, and that is perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with you. Yoga gives us an opportunity to notice our incongruencies. Sometimes we're already aware of them. In fact, a lot of times we're already aware of them, and that's why we come to yoga. So yoga gives us an opportunity to like really feel like, my left hip is tighter than my right hip. It gives us an opportunity to work on those tightnesses, right? We're working on the outer thigh, the hip area right now. But it also gives us an opportunity to be okay with the fact that like one hip might always be tighter than the other, right? And that's okay. Back when I was teaching in studio, this woman used to come in who's a dancer, and she'd had hip replacement, which a lot, she was like 40 years old, but she had hip replacement, which a lot of dancers do. And before her surgery, she asked her doctor, like, is there any chance that like, you would screw the hip in too tight and one leg would be shorter than the other? And the doctor was like, oh, that's like, it happens, but it's like a 1 in a million chance. And sure enough, after surgery, she found out that her one leg was about an inch, like literally an inch shorter than the other one all of a sudden. So she used to come to class literally with a little, like a little wooden beam that she would put under one foot, and she would practice like that. I think sometimes when we come to yoga, we think this will fix everything. My legs will be the same length again. But, especially if you've had surgery or an injury or something like that, you might not get back to whatever that was, right? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that's okay. Again, this yoga is just a process of being okay with the fact that sometimes one of our legs is a little or a lot shorter. Sometimes we had no control over that. It sucks, but here we are, right? We're breathing. We're letting go of what we can't control. And we're digging into what we can control, right? So right now, if what you're doing with your body is not serving your body, can ease up. You can go deeper. We've got a little over 2 minutes left, but this is your class, and this is an opportunity to take ownership over your experience in your body. Let me say that again. This is an opportunity to take ownership over your experience of your body, not how other people tell you to experience your body, how you want to experience your body in this moment. Never going to a point of pain or punishment, just a stretch. About 30 seconds left. You can stay where you are. You can go a little deeper, whatever feels right for you in this moment. Notice where you're carrying tension. See if you can just let it go. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Slowly walk your right foot back up the wall. Woo, slowly take your left leg off of your right leg. Bring your feet close together. Feet up the wall. Again, can maybe bring, windshield wiper your knees, right, left, right, left. Notice any sensations as you release out of the posture. Sometimes the release from the posture is as intense as the posture itself. So if you are feeling some kind of way right now, you are not the only one. Okay, we're gonna take a spine twist on this side. So bend your legs, feet on the wall, thighs into your chest, and this time roll to the left. So right hip over left hip, right knee over left knee, eventually left leg on the floor. And you can have your arms out to the side or cactus like goalposts. You can have your head on the floor looking up towards the ceiling, or roll your right ear towards the right side of your mat. Holding here for 4 minutes, already 30 seconds in. Try to keep the right shoulder on the floor, but the hips stacked. Notice if you're carrying tension in the hip, the jaw, the chest, and rather than fighting the posture, see if you can just like breathe into it. So notice what muscles are contracting and see if you can relax them instead. And you might be surprised at the muscles that you're secretly contracting or unconsciously carrying tension in. So just do a body scan and slowly let everything soften. Again, we're relaxing into the posture rather than forcing into the posture. Breathing in and breathing out. About 1.5 minutes left. About 30 seconds left. And just noticing any lingering tension, anything you're holding on to. See if you can just let go a little bit more. When we tell our body it's okay to let go, we also signal to our mind, our brain, that it's okay to let go. Breathing in, breathing out. If you're looking to the right, start by rolling your head back to center. And this time we're actually going to come onto our back for another puddle pose. So your feet are already, off of the wall here. Just take your time. Again, it's a little awkward, but come into a puddle pose lying on your back or a Savasana. Woo, and just feel everything lengthening down, blood flow going back to the toes. Just taking a moment here before our final posture of class. The first time I taught a wall yoga class, I did the entire thing with legs up the wall, and I naturally have low blood pressure. It runs in our family. And by the end, I was like, there's no blood in my toes right now. So I like to do these little moments where we kind of let blood go back to the feet in between. Again, just noticing any sensations as you enter a more neutral state. By looking towards the ceiling for pretty much all of class, except the first 15 minutes, it is also like a shift of perspective and consciousness, as you've perhaps heard me mistake the floor and the wall several times in this class already. So just noticing how that kind of feels to the mind as well, right? We're constantly trying to reorient physically, but I think beyond physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, we're always trying to orient right to our surroundings. And it gets a little confusing when we're literally shifting what way looks up. Okay, good. As you're ready, slide back towards the wall, lift your legs back up. So butt against the wall, feet up. This time we're gonna do another hip opener where you just start to slide your feet apart from each other. And this is another one we're having like toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, or yoga blocks, if you're fancy, close by. You're always welcome to have those like under your thighs so that your legs don't drop all the way, or eventually letting the legs drop down closer to the floor. And we're gonna hold here for 4 minutes. Try to get your butt touching with the wall. Maybe getting the outer ankles closer to the wall so the hips rotate out. You want to feel a nice inner thigh stretch, maybe a gentle rotation to the hips, but never a point of pain. So just notice whatever that is for you. And if you ever need to like come up a little bit, please feel free. We're just letting gravity do the work. A little less than 2 minutes left. Over the halfway point. Everybody's doing great. If you need to like wiggle your toes or your hands, feel free. And then just return to your breath. Notice where you're fighting, where you're clenching or holding tension, and just consciously let it go. It's this funny process. I'll tell my shoulders to relax. And then a minute later, I think about it and I'm like, I thought I told you to ease up, and my shoulders are up at my ears again. So, relaxation, right? It's not a destination. It is like an action verb. It is a conscious practice. So we're just constantly returning to our breath, constantly returning to the like, oh, right, relax your jaw. Oh, yeah, let your abdomen relax, all that stuff, right? Or just reminding ourselves. And that's actually where it becomes meditative, because when we return our thoughts to our breath or to our body, then we kind of let go of all the other stuff, right? Otherwise, the mind might wander. But when we have this thing to focus on, breath, relaxation, stillness, when that's a practice, when stillness, believe it or not, is an action verb, then all the other stuff kind of goes away. So again, just returning, what's tensing up, and what can you let go of? Relaxing through the exhale breath. About 10 seconds left. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Okay, we're going to carefully bring our feet back together. Take your time, as it might feel quite intense to your hips or thighs. So I'm actually going to place my hands on my outer thighs, and with the help of my biceps, my hands bring my feet back together. And if you'd like to exhale through your mouth and sigh it out, feel free. Now we're almost to the end, but I do want to give you an opportunity, if you would like to try a supported shoulder stand or an intro to a shoulder stand, feel free. Otherwise, just keep your feet up the wall, relaxing. But if you'd like to try what's kind of the intro to like full inversions, like shoulder stand, headstand, all that stuff, the wall is a really great prop. So stay with your butt against the wall, bend your legs so that your feet are on the wall. Ideally, bring the legs down so that your ankles are in line with your shins, shins parallel to the ceiling. You're going to bring your hands onto your lower butt back area and just lift your hips up. So hips come off the floor. You can place your hands fully under your back now and start to walk your feet up the wall. Push the floor, push the wall away from you with your feet. So maybe just the big toes on the wall now. Knees over hips, squeeze your butt, press your hips forward, chin to chest, neck on the floor. You can practice keeping one foot on the wall and lifting one leg up, lowering it down, other leg up, or if it feels good, actively push your palms into your middle back and lift both legs up for shoulder stand. You can always use the wall to get into these inversions. Take an inhale, exhale. If you're all the way in shoulder stand, bend your legs again. Let your feet come onto the wall. Slowly lower your hips down to the floor. Okay, and final feet up the wall. This is our final Savasana. So you can close your eyes, open your arms. Just finishing with one last feet up the wall posture. Stay here for as long as you'd like. And if you would prefer a puddle pose on your back with your legs on the floor, I totally get it. Do whichever feels good for you. What I will say to you, we've spent a lot of times with reverse blood flow. I hope it helps you sleep tonight, right? This is a really great tool. If you just have like a couple minutes every day where you put your feet up the wall, it's a really nice way, again, to slow blood pressure, to help you relax. It's good for the hamstrings, good for bringing fresh blood into your heart area. But it is a reversal of blood flow. So whether you're taking your final moments in class with your feet up the wall or in puddle pose with your feet on the floor, when it is time to get up, please move very slowly, like really take your time when you sit upright. When you do sit up, I want you to take a minute sitting on your butt before you stand up. Let me say that again. When it is time to get up, take a minute sitting up before you stand up, okay? And that's just a safety precaution for blood flow. The only time I've ever had a student actually pass out in a yoga class, it was not because of the postures, it's because they stood up too quickly after final Savasana, and it was very scarring for all of us. So please take your time as you're standing up always, but especially after wall yoga. We'll finish with 3 breaths in and out through the nose. I invite you to place one hand over your heart space and one hand over your stomach. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale, feel your body rise. Exhale, feel your body fall. As you breathe in, scan your body for any lingering tension. Let it all go through your exhale breath. Picture yourself in perfect, radiant health.